Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel today. We've got Chuck Michel here again, who is the volunteer CRPA president. We've got the laundry list to run through, and I think we're going to try to do it in a few video series. But Chuck, thank you very much for being on and being with us today.
Glad to be here.
All right, Chuck, so I thought we could start here with South Bay Rod and Gun Club v. Bonta. This is the case that we have filed with the Duncan and Rody plaintiffs on SB 1327. I was wondering if you could just give us an update and hopefully unmuddy some of these waters, because there are other cases with this as a topic. So where are we exactly on that one?
It's good that you're asking, because this really does need to be cleared up, because even the news media is not getting it right. Recall that the CRPA filed the Duncan case against magazines that hold over 10 rounds, the Rody case on the ammunition background check. CRPA also filed a RUP case against the assault weapon ban, but we've basically put that on hold because there's another case that we're watching, the Miller case, which challenged the assault weapon ban, which is further along than our RUP case. So those three cases were all decided by Judge Benitez in San Diego. And they all went up on appeal, and various things happened, and then they came back down, and now they're back down in front of Judge Benitez. So those cases are all there waiting for a decision from him. But to try and frustrate our ability to challenge firearms laws, gun control laws as a Second Amendment violation, the Sacramento legislature, at the request of Governor Newsom, passed a law that made it basically impossible to continue to recover attorney's fees from the state when you win in challenging an unconstitutional law, and also made it so that if you don't win completely on every theory that you advance, then you're liable to the state to pay these state attorney's fees. This was modeled after the Texas abortion law, which was essentially designed to make it impossible to challenge a ban on abortion in Texas. Well, now they used it in California to make it impossible to challenge an unconstitutional gun control law because nobody wants to lose their house. It made attorneys liable, jointly and severally liable, for those fees if you didn't win. So nobody was going to file any lawsuits if that was the stakes. So the Duncan plaintiffs and the Rody plaintiffs, we put them together into that one lawsuit. And then the Miller plaintiffs were in another lawsuit challenging that fee shifting provision. And then we filed it in San Diego and got it in front of Judge Benitez so that those two issues, that issue of the fee shifting statute, could get out of the way before we got back to the challenges to the magazine capacity, the ammo restriction, and the so-called assault weapon laws. That's what happened so far. The DOJ, in typical fashion, because they know they're between a rock and a hard place here, they argued in Texas that the Texas law shifting fees in abortion cases, abortion challenges, was unconstitutional. And now they're trying to claim that this one is constitutional. So they keep going in and telling plaintiffs, well, we'll waive the fees in this case. We'll waive 1327 in this case so that it's not an issue. They're trying to moot the issue, so that the judge can never get to it. Well, only thing that's happened so far is Judge Benitez, both in the Miller case and the Duncan and Rody cases, those three challenges to 1327, has said it's not moot. I'm going to decide this, and I'm going to make a ruling on whether or not this fee shifting provision is unconstitutional. Well, that hearing happens on December 16th. That trial is taking place December 16th.
Okay, but just to clear, so I mean, first of all, we're looking for the decision from the trial on December 16th. But just to clear this up, I mean, you are mentioning Duncan, you are mentioning Rody. The lawsuit that we have filed on this is the lead plaintiff is South Bay Rod and Gun Club. And I think that might be where some of the confusion is coming from, because we see another case named Miller. So what you're saying is this Miller case that essentially has the same argument isn't the original Miller case? It's a separate lawsuit.
Correct. We tried to avoid that confusion by not making Duncan our lead plaintiff, because we didn't want to have two Duncan cases. So we put a different plaintiff in the first place so that it's easier to separate, to understand which case is which. But the Miller plaintiffs they had their Miller case, initial Miller case challenging the so-called assault weapon law, and then they had the Miller case, same plaintiff, challenging the fee shifting provision. So there's Miller 1 and Miller 2.
So we essentially have this argument twice in front of Judge Benitez. We got the ruling coming jointly on the 16th, and what we see from that ruling is, I'm assuming if we win, it's going to get appealed to the Ninth Circuit, or at least that's something I would say is safe to assume. Does it then go to the Ninth Circuit together, or does it stay separate?
Well, yeah, they'll be consolidated at the Ninth Circuit. I don't know if to be honest with you, I don't know if they'll appeal the fee shifting statute. They're in a tough spot with that one. Because like I said, they were arguing one way in Texas on behalf of the state of California, and now another way in California, trying to say it's constitutional here, but it was unconstitutional there. It's the same law, just abortion versus firearms. They literally just took out abortion and put in firearms. All the other language is exactly the same. So I don't know if they'll appeal that. Now, they will, I'm sure, appeal the other cases, no matter what happens in those.
I was going to say, that sounds like pretty good news. At least the Taxpayer Association of California might be happy to hear that that won't get appealed for a losing case on the state side. And these fights are going to continue. Every single one of these lawsuits, every single one of these programs, every time CRPA is fighting up in Sacramento, it's being done on your behalf. So if you could, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like and share button. We're trying to get this out to as many people as possible to let them know that they are being fought for when it comes to their Second Amendment rights. Thanks, guys, again, and we'll see you on the next one.